Hi, this is Shasi, and this is the Silverfox Hustle podcast. Now, over the past few episodes, I've had some very good guests in with me in the podcast, and today is no different. I have a guest with me who is really special, and I'm sure lots of people at home who want to listen to his stories. And when I say special, he is really special. Now, this guy here, the guest today, he is the current captain of the Singapore national side, and he is also the captain of his club side across the causeway. He is the youngest ever player to don the Singapore national team jersey at 16 years and 217 days. My guest also has won 3 bronze medals in the SEA Games and is a Suzuki Cup champion. In 2013, he also won the Malaysian Super League with a local side, which is the Lions 12. Now, there has been some setbacks as well. 2 leg fractures and 1 ACL injury. He has overcome all those like he knows best, like a true blue champion. Now, above all that, he is an inspiration to everyone, young and old, male or female, for the hard work, the discipline, the clean life that he leads. He is a fine example of the hustler and a true blue professional athlete. Now, let's welcome my favorite Singapore footballer over the past 10 years or so, Hariss Harun. Hello, Hariss, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Sasi. Good. I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Uh,
Yeah,
we all know what's happening throughout the world, the pandemic and stuff like that. Now, what
yeah.
has been keeping you busy at home?
I think nothing much is more or less the same like everyone else, staying home as much as you can unless you need to get some stuff at the supermarket and just spending a lot of time with the kids, trying to keep the shape, just when all this is over, we are back to a base level or basic level where we can work from.
Uh,
So yeah, this is just the usual stuff. Yeah.
it's pretty different, isn't it? Because you're so used to the traveling back and forth, and then now being cooked up all at home. Is it more stressful for you?
Yeah. Yes, I mean it's a little bit awkward, a bit boring in the beginning, but after you try to improvise, you try to make things a little bit more fun, especially with the kids, because I think for the kids they are more restless. I think you should know your father yourself
Yes, yes.
how the kids are restless cooped up in their home without not being able to go to school, see their friends, go down to the playground, just to let themselves loose. So as parents, I think we have to improvise a little bit, play some games or try to get a little bit creative, to keep them going. So that's what I've been doing
Yeah.
together with my wife, and I think so far it's been well. So it's another 1 month plus to go. So hopefully we can hang in there. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. You are saying all the right things so far. Is your wife beside you or something like that?
no, she's outside. She's outside, but okay,
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a short one. Do you when this pandemic wasn't on? Do you like commute in and out always, or you stay in
Yeah,
Johor?
yeah. Usually, I mean, my family is based here because my 2 young kids go to school here in Singapore. So I decided it's the best for them to have
Okay.
their education here. So I commute most of the time. But of course, it depends on the schedule. As you know, the lifestyle or the schedule of a football player is not fixed in the sense that we
True.
have away games and the schedule for my club is usually weekly, but it's also
Okay.
subject to changes. Last minute
Yeah.
changes
Yeah.
are
Of
very
course.
very bound to happen in a football club. So we have morning, afternoon, double session some days, and then over the weekends when we have morning session, I stay because you know how the traffic can be over the
Yeah.
causeway,
Yeah.
both Woodlands and the second league. So I try to fix my schedule according to the time and yeah, so certain days I'm there, certain days I'm here, but certain days I'm here in Singapore with the family, so it depends. But most of the time I go commute across the causeway.
The distance obviously is important, and I think it's a little bit closer to Singapore, so that helps as well, isn't it? And then Johor and
Yes,
Singapore.
I'm very lucky in that
Yeah.
sense because
Yeah.
anytime I can just drive over, I don't have to book a ticket or anything.
True. True.
It's yeah,
True. Now let's get stuck in, Haris. I've always known
yeah.
you, the footballer, as a dedicated, disciplined, and an honest footballer. Now, how was your upbringing like? What are the values that you learned from young that has helped you in your playing career so far? Just tell me a little bit about your days growing up?
Yeah, I was my family when we grew up, we had enough to get by.
Yeah,
I think I was a lot growing up in the Toa Payoh and Whampoa area because that's where my grandparents and my parents lived.
I see.
So the home was a 3 room flat in Whampoa.
Yeah.
In the area we shifted just in and around the area, and then Toa Payoh was a shop house of my grandparents. So I was just growing up in these two places, playing when I was like 5, 6, I would say 6, 7 years old. I was just playing around, especially at shop house at my grandparents, where my parents left me when they went for work. So a lot
Okay.
of time I was there. So
Okay.
it's just football, playing with the kids around. You know how it was back in the days,
Okay.
where you just needed a space and a ball. So you just had fun, and yeah, we had enough to get by. So there was nothing lacking, not really difficult times.
Okay.
Of course, there was difficult times, and nothing that maybe kids were when I was a kid. There was prominent to me, like, because my parents and my grandparents made sure that we had enough. Yeah,
That's good. That's good. Now I just want to ask you this, okay?
yeah,
It may sound like a stereotype because I think it is, but I also think that it's also a little bit true, right? Now
yeah.
you came from an Indian Muslim community, isn't it?
Like, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I think, right? I think that they
yeah,
are a little bit stricter in terms of
yeah.
in terms of discipline as well. So were you brought up in what was your dad and parents like in terms of the discipline
Yeah,
part?
my dad was very strict, quite firm. He was strict, but I wouldn't say he was really strict like Iron Fist. He
Okay.
was very firm, and
Okay.
my grandparents were loving, but you know how grandparents can be. They were really loving and soft to their
Ah,
grandkids.
yes.
But
Yes.
my grandfather was quite a strict
Yeah.
guy as well. So
Okay.
we had a nice combo. Like you
That's
had the
good.
loving side, you had the discipline also. So for me, it was really really nice, or it was a nice upbringing. You see.
Yeah. Tell me a little
So
bit. Tell me a little bit about your dad.
yeah, my dad always had. I think when growing up, he was really strict. The relationship that I have with him now and then, I think is quite different. So like we are usually back then it was only me and my brother. We are 2 years apart. So growing up, we were really, I wouldn't say scared, but we had that respect for him that we would have for dads, and he was quite firm in his decisions. You see, so
Okay.
we didn't fool around with him or anything. So, but as we grew up, as we became teenagers, where we had to make, we came into crossroads in our lives. Like for example, for myself, which secondary school to go.
Okay.
When I go to poly, and he got more involved, and a lot of discussions and advice from him. So I think he played different role growing up as we grew older. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're talking about school and stuff. Now you went to
Yeah.
St. Michael's Primary, I understand, and
Yes.
St. Gabriel's Sec.
Yes.
St. Gabriel's Sec is just across my place anyway,
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
What was Hariss Harun, the student, like? Studies?
I,
You
w-
good at your studies?
I was a prefect in primary school.
Wow. What, head
In
prefect?
primary six. No, no, no. I was just a normal prefect. I wasn't a prefect. I was
In
that
secondary
good.
school or primary school?
No, in primary school. In primary
Okay.
school, yeah.
Okay.
In primary six, I was prefect. Actually, much to my surprise, so I was nominated by one of my teachers. I'm not sure who it was, but I remember my name was in the list for prefects that year.
Probably because you were disciplined, right? That's why you were
I I
prefect.
I would like to think so, because I mean, being a young boy, you can be sneaky sometimes.
Of course.
In front of some people you are like nice, in front of teachers, and then behind with your friends
Okay.
you are doing
Okay.
the stupid things, and but it's part and parcel
Yeah.
of growing up. You see,
Yeah.
as long as you respect your elders, you know what you're doing, and you don't get into trouble. I think that's good. But yeah, like I said, I was surprised I was prefect in primary six. But when I went to secondary school,
Yeah.
I think it was part of growing up. I was a little less focused on my studies. I was more football. But
Okay.
that's where my dad and my parents came into play again. They just pulled me back to earth. Like they said, like, if you don't get your results, your academics, no football
Yeah.
for you. And I was really like fearful of that and
Yeah.
scared of that. So for me, I wasn't really a top student in terms of academics. I just did enough to
Okay.
get through each level, and
Yeah.
I'm proud to say, I don't know whether it's a good thing, but I'm proud to say that, I've never stayed back, or,
Yeah,
even in my poly days, I didn't repeat any modules or anything. I just went through everything
yeah.
I had to, and I did well enough until now. So yeah.
To those youngsters who might be listening in, please listen to that. That's good advice. If you are a little bit too playful, especially
Yeah.
with the football and what have you, I think that you should also you know concentrate
Yeah,
on
because
your studies
I
as
mean,
well.
like now looking back on life, my time, like 10, 15 years ago, where I think I was playful, but
Yeah.
I think academics and football came hand in hand, because what I had to practice in football or in sports helped me in my academics, and what I had to practice in academics helped me with my football as well. So I think it played hand in hand. It did me in terms of the discipline and everything. It helped me quite a lot.
I love
Yeah.
what you just said because again, for those kids and students listening in, I'm sure you want to listen to uh, Harris's advice. It goes hand in hand. Some people say that you might be a little bit you can't concentrate because you're playing a little bit too much of football, or you can't concentrate on football because you are over studying. That there is no such thing, I believe personally, because I've
Yeah.
done it as well, and you have done it as
Yeah.
well, because I think there
Yeah.
is a balance. And if
Yes.
you
Yes.
if you don't play, I don't think you can
Yeah.
concentrate on your studies as well. So I think it's a very, very
Yeah.
good
Yes.
balance.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I mean, I did so many things, especially in my Sec 5. It was an O level year. It was a major examination, and my teacher, her name is Mrs. Chang. I don't know
Yeah.
if she'll be listening, but she played a big role in not only my development, but in my group of boys, the class that I was in development, because she keep insisting that we stop playing football closer to the O level. He said, "You want to pass, you want to go through, stop playing." But I went to during my prelims. I went to Barcelona for the
Okay.
Nike challenge then,
Yeah.
and she looked at me like, "What's happening?" But she supported me, because she knew how I was in school,
How
and
many how
also there
many
was one.
months how many months before the O levels was that?
Oh, that was only like 3 months before the O level,
Wow.
I think.
Okay. Okay.
So I still went to Barcelona and came back, and
Who
but
wouldn't?
but yes, it was like once in a lifetime opportunity, you see, and I wasn't ready to give it up. But also at the back of my mind, I knew that I couldn't flop my O levels, because this is something in the long term. I had to make it up. I had to work really hard for it, and I told her, okay, when I come back, I will focus totally on my O levels. But when I came back, I went to play a league game for Young Lions, and I scored, and it came out in the papers, and she was so disappointed in me. I said, sorry, ma'am. And these are the motivation. These are the things that I wanted to. No, I didn't want to disappoint the people who
Yeah.
put the
Of
trust,
course. Yes.
and really went the extra mile for me. So when for my O level, I just try to put in the extra effort and study as hard as I can to get to poly. Yeah.
Well done. You got to thank your teacher as well for that. Great stuff
Yes,
there.
definitely.
Great
Yeah.
stuff. I'm with Hariss Harun for this special episode with the national team skipper. We'll be right back after this short break, and we will be talking
Yeah.
about Hariss and his time at the NFA, which is the National Football Academy. Stay tuned.